think besides just installing all the software and stuff, maybe think about ways to integrate your environment, because the difference from the specs to other smart glasses or AI stuff is that they do have really good tracking of the real world. You can do surface tracking, hand tracking, you can track other people, and just use that in a creative way to integrate your ideas into the real world. I think that's really the thing that stands out for XR projects, is that there's like these really nice combination of real world and like the artificial world.
Hello and welcome to episode 135 of Spatial Realities, your podcast for all professionals involved in XR, spatial computing and the metaverse. My name is Thomas Riedel, host of the podcast and tech journalist from Cologne, Germany. And as always, I'm joined by my co-host Thomas Bedenk, one of the most experienced XR experts in Berlin. Greetings.
Hi, Thomas.
Hi. How are vacations? How are you doing?
Awesome. Had a nice trip through the US, so great weather, very hot.
Also with us, we have two guests today. One is Ines Hilz, digital artist and creative technologist, and Andrew Douglas. Oh, she's also from Berlin. And Andrew Douglas, XR developer, and both are co-founder of Sunflower VR. Welcome. He's sitting in London, by the way.
Hello.
Hi guys, nice to be here. Thanks for having us.
Hello, welcome. Both of you are official Snap ambassadors at the AI Glasses track of the AI Hackathon taking place on September 4 to 6 here in Cologne, and it will be great welcoming you here, and all the guys are already excited here to see who Snap is sending to help us. We actually do have a couple of those exclusive slots still free to you to reserve, dear listeners. So if you want to also participate in that AI hackathon, go to aixhack.com and reserve your exclusive slot and develop with the Snap Spectacles, which is an awesome device. So this is the one reason you're here, but the other reason is you're experts for the Snap Spectacles and the Snap Specs, which is the upcoming device of Snap. In my opinion, one of the best devices out there concerning AR and AI. So you two have maybe or maybe not already had the pleasure of seeing or using the Snap Specs. Who of you already wore it? Andrew, I guess you have been the guy.
Yeah, it was shown in the marketing materials for the launch. Had them on. It was, pretty cool.
Cool. Where was that?
I was at AWE when they announced it. I was on the screens wearing the new specs. It was cool, quite a fun moment.
Nice. And have you been able to switch it on or not?
No, not yet.
Why? Why didn't they switch it on?
Can they?
Yeah, I mean, missed chance, right? You could have just flipped the switch and then you could have seen all the nice things of Snap OS 2. But I guess they would have thrown you out, right?
Potentially, yeah. Never know.
But how did it feel on your face? I mean, you tried different AR glasses in your career, I guess. Compared to the Snap Spectacles 2024, it should have been way more comfortable. What was your personal impression here?
Yeah, I mean, pretty comfy. I mean, I've tried a bunch of headsets and glasses over my time. To be fair, I'm still quite used to the current gen Snap Specs, the sort of developer version. Mm-hmm. I find these quite comfy. So comfort-wise, everything's pretty comfy on my face. But yeah, they feel good. They looked great. So I'm excited to just wear them out and about. Yeah, looking forward to it.
Thomas, which specs will you have at the hackathon?
The Snap Spectacles 2024 developer version, of course. I asked them if we could have the new ones, but I guess nobody is having them. So it's fine that we also don't have them.
Okay.
Yeah, they're not officially launched yet, September then.
Yes. And we're really much looking forward to it, but you are already working, if not with them in a physical way, you use them already virtually while developing for them, Ines, and just to give us a little bit of a glimpse, do you enjoy working with them? How is the experience compared to the Snap Spectacles, the old one?
Well, you can test your lenses with the old spectacles because you can literally just send the lens from your editor to the glasses. Since we don't have the new glasses yet, it's a very limited experience inside of the software, inside of the editor. We already built some lenses virtually, like you said, but I'm very curious to see them on the actual glasses because a lot of times there's just unexpected things and errors happening that you didn't anticipate. That's just like because it's on device. For example, they have like an additive display. That means all the dark colors get transparent. And you often don't really think about that while you develop. And then only when you put them on and try the real thing, then you notice like, oh yeah, shit, I actually need to adjust a little bit.
Cool. We're going to talk about that in detail in a bit. But before we do that, we have a couple of news we want to go through because things are happening out there. I mean, it's still summertime, still vacation. Actually, right now, I'm completely preparing for Gamescom, which will start tomorrow here in Germany, in Cologne. So I'm really excited. This is happening, but also a lot of stuff in VR. And we're going to start our news section with a headset price guess game. There are a couple of headsets out there we are expecting, and we're going to guess prices and then come back later and find out who's actually the winner. So we're going to start with the Pico Space Pro, formerly known as Project Swan. Release was just postponed to the fourth quarter, else we would have seen them in a week, which was also great. By the way, who haven't tried them yet?
I haven't tried them.
Nor have I.
You two haven't tried them? Thomas, have you tried them?
The Project Swan, no. The Steam frames, yes.
So I'm the only one. I had the expression, everybody already tested them, and I'm still not able to talk about them, so it's really a problem. But that's why I am rightfully so very excited about their launch. And yeah, they postponed it with the sentence, "We saw an exciting new opportunity and hope to bring to everyone in the first release," which we hope to bring to everyone in the first release. What could this actually be, Thomas?
An excuse? No, they're just it's some kind of software thing they want to fix first, I think. I don't know if it's, I mean, they make it sound like it's this fantastic new software feature that they want to include for everyone, but I think it's the normal dev cycle. It's a bit strange that they do the announcement and then revert the announcement for the real event within a week. That's a very bad communication, I would say. Maybe it has to do with a potential launch of the Meta glasses, the new VR headset, maybe, or the announcement. Maybe it has to do with the imminent Steam frame release. There were a lot of devices shipped to the US and more reports, the leaked video about the Steam frame. So maybe they're afraid of having the news right at the same time.
Yeah, could be. Yeah, that sounds very sensible to me. Somebody on LinkedIn commented maybe it's because they want to add OpenXR, but I would assume it's already there, right? So
yeah, I wouldn't know. I would think they would have OpenXR support from the get-go. I don't think that would be the new cool feature.
All right, so let's do it. Everybody needs now to guess the price or approximate somehow the price. I will start because then you guys can be prepare yourself for that. That's of course a harder challenge. I mean, we already know it could cost something about 2,000 euros or a little bit more. I guess Pico will land with $2,049 or 2,000. Yeah, let's say we make it euro. So 2,149 euro is my bet.
Oddly specific number.
Absolutely. You need to be specific because then we can, this game actually works, you know?
Okay. I'm guessing 1,865.
Excellent. 65.
I like the ending there of the 65. Nice and specific.
Should be 67, but okay.
Yeah. I think I'm going to go
Missed
with...
opportunity.
There we go.
Yeah.
2,350 euros. Just a bit more than you, Thomas.
I see. And Thomas Bedenk?
I will say 2,500 just because I said that before, but I'm afraid it might be even higher with taxes included in Germany. I'm afraid it might be even higher than that, just because I guessed that number before, like 2 weeks ago or so. But that's a pretty wide spread between us.
Insider knowledge.
Absolutely.
I'm just trying to stay optimistic with the price, like keeping it under the 2K mark.
I doubt that, but we'll see. We'll see.
All right, that's it for Picospace Pro. We're going to continue with a Steam frame. I'm a bit surprised by this one because Thomas just injected it into the pad, I think. So Thomas has to start with a price.
Actually, you don't happen to have our numbers that we originally guessed, right? You don't have them at hand right now. We guessed it in fall last year.
No.
That would be way lower than we would guess now after all the price increases.
Yeah, we need to compare that in a later episode.
Right now, I would say 1,400 for the Steam frame.
1,400 sounds legit to me. I will guess maybe something like $1,200 euro.
I think I maybe have to agree with you there. I think I'm quite optimistic they're going to try and get the price a bit lower. So I think 1,200 is a pretty safe bet.
All right. Ines?
I go with just like a fun angel number, 1,111.
So, next device, which is very interesting because we don't know that much, although there were a couple of leaks in the last weeks. Leaks in the last weeks could also be a good block for XR. Project Phoenix we're talking about, which will be probably released or at least announced on Meta Connect, taking place on September 23rd and 24th. So in about 1 month. Very excited about this one. What could be the price of Project Phoenix? Maybe one of you guys want to start with that one.
I'm going to go with 1,700 euros.
Oh, wow. That's
I'm
expensive.
not fully up to date on it, but I think it's going to be a bit more on the expensive side. Yeah.
Okay. Ines?
1.5.
1.5. Thomas?
I think they will probably not even announce the price because of the fluctuations right now, and the release will probably be moved a bit. So it's safe a bet not to say the price right now. But I would assume, well, we don't really know what it is, so it's a bit hard to guess this one. I'd say 1,400.
Cool. Okay. And I will go even deeper, even lower with that one. I think it's 1,111. Because it's still Meta. I think because it's Meta, they will try to push the price as low as possible to make the most impact, especially as there are a couple of other very interesting headsets out there coming out, like the Picospace Pro and Steam Frame. So they want to try to be very competitive with the price. So yeah, let's see. There's another bonus question, maybe. The Meta Ray-Ban Gen 3 might come out or something like that. I think the price will not change much, maybe like $10 more or $20 more, like they did with the version before. If there's nobody voting here to say way more or way less, we're gonna jump this one and go to the Meta Ray-Ban Display 2.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Meta Ray-Ban Display 2. First, I haven't heard anything about that glasses yet, but I really expect them coming. Why? They are not doing that much of a hassle about the first version. And I do know that a lot of people really struggle with the first version, so it is really important to bring out the second version. And this might be the big surprise of the Meta Connect. So I would say right now the Meta Display 1 costs $799. I would say a second display costs $100 more, so it will be like $900 or something like that, but still below 1,000. Yeah.
I think they're going to keep the price the same for the second pair to try and attract more people to it instead of just buying the default Meta Ray-Bans. So I'm going to stick with $799.
Okay.
I would also say around 800, good price.
Exactly 800.
801.
And one, so you're $2 above Andrew's bet. Thomas Bedenk.
I have a hard time guessing prices when I know nothing about the device, but I can't see them going with one screen again. I think it will be binoculars, so it will be tough to keep this $799 price. I would say 1,200.
Wow, okay. That's way more than we all...
No one's buying it anyway, so they can just as well do 1,200. So,
yes, interesting. I have the feeling the even realities ones are the ones where a lot of people find them interesting. We have no numbers, unfortunately, but I just met somebody at an event at Evoke with an even realities glass, and I was really surprised about that. And the person had translation activated and did understand what I said in German, although she didn't understand German, which was interesting, which was crazy, and it worked. So yeah.
Yeah. I also tried the even realities before, and I personally really like them. That there's no camera. That's interesting, and something I personally, like about them.
Yeah. I actually
Very
think
minimal.
we'll see quite a lot of smart glasses, especially those imitation ones from all kinds of Chinese companies, but at IFA again this year, which is happening soon. Probably not like Meta being there or something like that, but there are probably quite a few from other brands.
Absolutely. And as you were talking about the IFA, I can sneak in a little invitation here, because on September the 7th, I will be on the stage at IFA talking with a couple of people about smart glasses, the future of smart glasses and privacy. And the fun part here is that there will be also somebody from Hate8 participating. The managing director, Josephine Ballon, will also be here. Hate8 just sued Meta because of the smart glasses. And I am, maybe one could say that, somebody who likes smart glasses and who wants to see them on the market. Josephine probably hates them and wants to make them banned from the market. So it might be a very interesting conversation we're going to have there. So if you are at IFA, do not miss this one. It will take place on Monday, September 7th, 2:45 p.m. Takes 1 hour, and you are very much invited to join us there.
Is that with your regular IFA ticket, right, to get there?
I think so, yeah.
Cool. We might see each other again.
Nice, awesome. How much is an IFA ticket, by the way?
It's cheap. I mean, you usually, if you do some kind of thing, you can get them for free. Even like some companies give them away for free, or Tagesspiegel gives them away for free. But I don't know the full price. It's probably like $20 or something like that. Or, I'm not sure. 20 euros.
Yeah, I would love to see it, but first you have to give all your data here, and even the weight of your firstborn, as I see, just to find out what the price is. So I cannot tell you, although I'm on the website of IFA. Okay. Maybe don't go to the IFA. No, go to the IFA. All right, so smart glasses, that's already the topic we're talking about. That, I mean, it's the topic everywhere right now. It's filling a little bit a gap, a media gap right now. It's vacations everywhere, so it's a nice topic. Andrew, as you are from London and maybe have a little bit of a different media bubble than we have, how is the debate about smart glasses in the UK right now? Is there any kind of discussion?
Yeah, it's quite interesting. The past sort of few weeks, there's been a lot of places banning the use of them, or places in discussion of sort of, not allowing them in, which I think is quite interesting. I think at the moment, the sort of media surrounding all the smart glasses is quite negative. So I'm quite curious to see what sort of happens with it. Obviously, it's quite different from Germany, where I'm hearing a lot about the sort of laws and stuff they're bringing into place. There's nothing like that sort of nationwide yet, but there are individual places that are just banning them in general, which is quite interesting.
And did you had any problems yet walking in with smart glasses? I mean, you don't need glasses per se, right? So
no, everywhere I've been with, regardless of the glasses, whether it's like the developer snap spectacles or the sort of Meta Ray-Ban displays, everywhere's been fine with them so far. But yeah, so yet to have a bad experience with them.
Yeah. But you have seen already some signs saying you cannot go here with your smart glasses?
I've not seen the signs like with my own eyes, but there's a big sort of headlines from a bunch of, pubs, things like that, which are just banning them flat out, that you'll be asked to leave if you're wearing your glasses and such, which I think is quite interesting. Yeah, so I'm curious to see how it develops over the next few months, and it'll be, quite interesting.
Yeah. I mean, there are also no tendencies in Germany to ban that. So there was an official request to the Secretary of Privacy, or I'm not sure how how the translation is exactly, which take care of those regulatories. And they said we don't see any sign that we have to actually ban them. They are fine. We can see the light, so everything is cool. So yeah, also it seems to be pretty similar everywhere, right? At least where smart glasses are actually available. So yeah, Ines, how many signs did you see already in Berlin?
No official signs. I do think, like from a legal perspective, it's still fine, but from a personal sort of viewpoint, or like if you are in a group of people, I do feel like they're not super accepted, which I totally understand. Like there's a little bit of a hesitation or like a stereotype now if you go around wearing them, because people know that the light can be manipulated. And I guess in Germany we also take privacy very seriously, so we do our how do you say, stereotype justice. Is that how you say
Yeah.
that? Yeah.
At this point, I want to recommend a very nice article at the Frankfurter Allgemeine. It is an article written by two scientists from Bavaria, Patrick Glauner and Philipp A. Rauschnabel, both professors in Bavaria, arguing why a ban is the wrong way from a scientific standpoint, which is very interesting. Of course, they are technologically open guys who think that technology is interesting and has potential and can help society and stuff like that. So, but they have all the arguments in place and list all the arguments, which is very interesting and helps pretty much understanding what is going on. So if you don't speak German, just copy the text into your local AI and translate it, because it's really worth it. All right.
That sounds interesting.
Yeah, it's a very good article, and I guess one of the best ones, which is just not just telling somebody wants to ban something, not just the news, but also trying to explain where something comes from, what's the history behind the law and stuff like that. So cool. So we are coming to the representative poll of the day. I need a jingle here, something like that. How do you feel about smart glasses? Bitkom, it's the German
Association for IT industry, I guess.
Yes, asked 1,164, also missed opportunity here, but okay, in Germany, aged 16 and older, surveyed by telephone. It's a representative of the population and had some interesting things finding out. For example, there is a high level of personal interest amidst mixed overall sentiment, which means 43% of respondents are open to using the devices themselves. 15% have already used smart glasses in their daily lives or on a trial basis, while another 28% express interest. Very nice number, very interesting number, which is quite high. Conversely, 52% rule out wearing such glasses entirely.
Their reservations are mostly being recorded by others. So it's usually as we all know, the advantage lies only for the user, and everyone else is getting the negatives from it, the potential negatives, right? And that's why people say, I'm kind of open to use it, but I don't want anyone else to use it. So 76% do not want others to film or photograph them with their smart glasses, which is a very high number. If you think about all the cameras already in public and with smartphones and dash cams and whatever. Age breakdown, I skipped that. Gender breakdown, yes. 73% men don't want to be filmed, and 78% women. Very similar numbers. And that's very interesting. 62% would not allow someone wearing smart glasses in their home to enter their home. That's a pretty high number. Of course, these numbers can change very quickly with adoption, but that's just, asking them right now. And most of them probably haven't had to make that call, like a friend standing in front of the door and not being let in. One time 20 years ago or so, I visited a friend that I haven't seen in years, and he was vegetarian, and we happened to have a McDonald's bag with us, and he said we cannot enter his home with the McDonald's bag. That was a bit weird, but yeah, things might happen to you when you wear smart glasses now. So 80%, last stat for now, 82% demand that the recording signal is clearly visible. I think what's also being drowned in those kind of questionnaires is it doesn't necessarily mean that the people know what they're talking about. They're being asked these questions, but it doesn't necessarily mean they know exactly what it means, right? Even the indicator. And for example, for certain, I would probably assume for even all of the smart glasses, the camera might still be active and not have the light on, just detecting stuff, right? It's still an active sensor. It's just not that you're personally recording a video. And that's also a differentiation that's not being made in most of those discussions and polls. Ines, you wanted to jump in?
Yes, I'm actually quite surprised by the gender statistics, that it's quite an equal amount of men and women that reject the glasses, because most of the content that is being put out recorded with the glasses is like pickup content, and the women are not aware that they're being filmed, but it's like we become more like sensitive towards this, that if you get approached, that there's the possibility that you will land up as content on a feed. So I'm actually surprised that the women percentage is not even higher. It's already pretty high, but I think that is a problem that Meta is also aware of, and that's why they market it now towards women. They're like, here, Kylie Jenner is wearing the new, very fashionable glasses, so it's for you, women. It's not against you; it's for you.
You can be a creep too.
Yeah, you can be creeps too. Yeah, I don't know. Like, it's pretty obvious what they're trying to do from my perspective.
Yeah, true. On the other hand, it would kind of imply that men agree with it. I mean, a lot of men also not liking creeps and pickup videos is probably just a normal thing. So I can see why both of the genders have a very high rating on this. On the other hand, there must be someone watching that content, right? Otherwise, They wouldn't film it and spread it.
Exactly. But I do agree that most men in my circle, they're also like super resenting that. So yeah, I don't know where the creeps are. Hopefully not in my circle.
You just said most of the videos are those videos. I would say that's not true, but the most of videos we read about are those videos. I still guess most videos are still normal videos, dads filming something or no idea. Like I'm on the roller coaster, or I'm on my bike, or look what I cook, or whatever. But yeah, we're not talking about them. We're talking about, of course, the creep videos. There's a difference, I guess.
Yeah, Instagram does try to suggest and push other videos, like the roller coaster one or the cooking one or whatever. But there's a dark number also involved, I think.
Yeah, we do not have very good numbers, so that's actually a problem.
I think I'll be quite curious to see how the numbers change when more AR glasses become available. Because right now they're all like just camera glasses or AI glasses or whatever. So I think as more and more people find different use cases for them, like, I don't know, helping them cook or take care of plants or whatever, I wonder how these numbers will change. If we'll get to the point where, you'll see someone wearing the glasses and just be like, oh yeah, it's complete show. Or yeah, how it will change in the next few years.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is also a good question, how we should take this poll of the day. What does it actually mean? I guess it's an interesting glimpse into something which we have to look at in a couple of years more and more. They should repeat that thing exactly like that next year again and see and find out what actually changed. So it's interesting, but of course it's just one data point and isn't that helpful at all. As it is, it's a little bit helpful, but I guess, yeah, just a little bit. All right. If you want to read another study, I will link you one in the show notes. We don't have time to talk about this one. The title is Harm Through the Risk Cam, Smart Glasses, Ambient Capture and Invisible Harassment. It should be read by you or summarized by your favorite local AI. But if you are a professional talking about that topic, you should actually know about that. And we're gonna go to the Apple event now. There will be an iPhone event taking place on September 9th, so in about 2 weeks. Very interesting. I mean, it's just the usual iPhone event, something where on social media you can read, I was really disappointed about Apple. I didn't expect this. Steve would be very disappointed about it and things like that. So just the normal things about the iPhone. But why are we talking about it? Because there are some rumors about new AirPods with cameras, which is exactly where we are right now with our discussions here. So everyday objects having suddenly a camera. And this is, of course, in the sense of spatial computing. So Apple might build AirPods which have the capability to watch what's happening, and we are all wondering, why are they doing that? And of course, how much will they cost?
I don't know if we need to do the cost thing again, but but that's exactly latching onto what we just said, like the cameras being there. I cannot see them putting the cameras in there to record a video from looking outside of your ear, right? That's probably not the perspective, riding downhill. This is how it's looked from the perspective of my ear. Obviously, it's for sensing stuff and for fitness and for sensor fusion and all that kind of stuff. And I can even see Apple probably heavily discussing internally right now, where should we go with our first glasses? Should we also keep it at sensing only, or should we make the camera record? There are probably arguments for saying, when we release the glasses, what's even the use case if we don't have the cameras recording? And others probably saying our camera in the smartphone is so good, it couldn't compete with them anyway, and let's avoid the whole privacy thing this way, or make a strong point in marketing about keeping it private and things like that. So I think they're probably heavily discussing it. But for the AirPods, it's leading that way. So it could mean that they might also go that direction. or even skipping the cameras completely on the glasses and using the iPod cameras for the sensing, which seems less intrusive, even though it's the same exact thing, right? But it seems less intrusive.
But it would, of course, be funny because you would have an iPhone, an Apple Watch, the AirPods, and the eyeglasses in your face to make things, which is like, what the hell? How many technological stuff do you need on your body?
But that's Apple's dream, isn't it? You know, like probably you'll have the iNose soon as well, or something like that.
A piercing, yeah. The iNose smart gadget. It records eating food from the view of your nose.
And it covers up fart smell. You know, whenever it's sensing a fart, it covers it up.
It makes a health assumption about you. Yeah, great. Hang on,
the farts is good, Thomas.
It is actually there is a science behind that.
What's a bit strange is that we're all right now, with the smart glasses, we're completely glazing over the audio being just as much a privacy intrusion as the video. It's a bit weird, but I'm sure it's coming back at some point.
Yeah. I guess that we discuss right now AirPods with cameras means or is part of the strategy of Apple here. For me, that's a sign that the glasses later will have cameras. And what they do is they introduce it in a very, let's say, light way. They will make them not make videos, but you can, of course, like maybe do some hand gestures or understand the environment for your AI or something like that. And make it very Apple style, privacy friendly and stuff like that, so that the people get used to it. And then in the second step, we will have glasses, and I'm pretty sure they could sell them right now because they're technologically not that hard to do, unless Apple is doing some magic here. But I guess the AirPods with camera can be some kind of step in between to introduce that kind of intelligence, so that they can later introduce the smart glasses way easier and explain way better. Look, this is how we do it. We did it with the AirPods, and it's very safe, and you are safe, and everything will be on the device. And this is how we do it with the camera. Okay.
I actually have a question about the cameras in the AirPods. Do you think they integrate the cameras in the AirPods to keep the glasses without the camera? Like that they work together as one system and they can avoid having cameras inside of the glasses to make it even more sleek and not as intrusive, maybe?
I think they will do that because then you need two devices to do something. And I don't see that this is something which makes sense in some way. I mean, how many devices with cameras or not cameras do you want to have? It's like the glasses one is way better than the AirPods, I guess.
Yeah. For the understanding of the environment might be good enough, not to take like high quality content, but to help the AI out. Can imagine good work. But yeah, you're probably right. They don't want to have like the functionality split on two devices.
We will find out on September the 9th how this will actually work out. And I guess we're going to go to the last topic of the day. We're now going to go talk about you two guys and Sunflower VR. First of all, how did you get that idea of that beautiful name? When was that? And how did you two guys find?
So we worked together before on some AR lenses when I was still working at the agency. And then Andrew got me on his team for a hackathon, a Meta Hackathon in London that was in person. And we just noticed that we work really well together. And yeah, we had the opportunity after the hackathon to like continue working on some projects together. So we founded the company Sunflower. Yeah, I guess that's it. Since then, we worked together for more than 2 years now, I think. And yeah, it's been great. I don't know. Do you want to add something?
Yeah, I think that sums it up very well. Yeah. Worked on a bunch of different projects across different headsets. And I got content across like the Apple Vision Pro, Meta Quests, the developer preview of the Snap Specs, yeah, AR lenses, all of that. So we've done quite a lot, quite a good few years.
Awesome. So, and how did you decide that you will focus more or less on Snap, if I get it right? Sunflower is usually doing lenses for Snap, also a little bit of TikTok, right? So what's your actual portfolio and how did you decide to that?
I think we both kind of started out with doing the Snapchat lenses and also Instagram effects when that was still a thing. And Snapchat is really big on community, so they take really good care of their creators and the developers. They offer like some projects sometimes, and they invite to events. So we have a nice little bubble of like friends, other creators that we meet a lot. So yeah, it just felt really natural to stay in the space because it's just a very nice environment. And ultimately, Blend Studio is like super powerful AR engine, like the most powerful AR engine there is right now, I think. Just super focused on AR. And it's just super fun to develop with it.
And what was your first project?
I've done a lot of different projects over the past 2 years. Again, stuff on like the Snapchat spectacles, individual sort of effects and filters for brands like Victoria's Secret. And then at the moment as well, we're expanding even further and creating AR try-on AI mirrors. So that's a really exciting project. Got our first one built, all coded, all ready to go. So we're just looking to expand with that. So it's very exciting. So much going on. So yeah, we'll watch this space and yeah.
Awesome. And is it also based, that mirror, on the Snap technology, or is it something different?
Yes, we had a look at like a bunch of different ways of having these sort of virtual try-ons or different effects. We just kept coming back to Camera Kit, which is one of Snap's sort of tools. So it allows you to deploy AR experiences to like iOS apps, Android, or web. And it's just super easy to kind of use and set up. And then from there, you can just write your lenses like we normally would within Lens Studio, and kind of one click and it's deployed to your mirror or your phone app or whatever. So it was in the environment we're already familiar with. It just made sense to keep going with that.
And you're about to launch the project. We are a little bit soon with that. Maybe you can tell a little bit when the launch will happen and how can people connect with you when the launch happened.
Yeah, so we're just preparing, getting all the materials done, planning some photo shooting with the mirror, with the product, and looking for launch partners in Edinburgh, that could benefit from being the first to try out the mirror for their stores, for their projects. So our timeline is a little bit flexible, let's say it like that. But planning to officially launch it in the next 2 weeks. And you can already like RSVP and get the newsletter, aevadisplay.com.
Nice. That's what I wanted to hear. Yes, absolutely. We're going to link it, of course, so that your new endeavor will get all the email addresses you need to be successful. And now we're going to go to how to develop for the Snap Spectacles. So let's assume people want to do something augmented reality wise. And I mean, this is what the Snap Spectacles was built for. Ultimately, it's a great computer in your face who can do all the things. Let's say I'm new to augmented reality. I've been doing some virtual reality stuff. I'm a developer. What would you say is a great way to start developing for the Snap Spectacles?
I think Lens Studio makes it super easy to just sort of get started, even without the device. Like the built-in simulator and everything is just super smooth, super easy to use. And there's so many great example templates, which makes sort of understanding how things work within the Lens Studio and how to develop for spectacles quite easy. And you've got a bunch of other super cool features, such as remote service gateway is what it's called. So normally when you're developing an app, let's say for the Quest or the Vision Pro, and maybe using some AI features, you've got to pay for your own tokens, which, as you know, can get super expensive super quick. But within Lens Studio, you've got the remote service gateway. So in there, you can generate your own sort of token key things, and then all AI requests are made through there. So you're not the one that ended up having to pay for it. So it allows you to quickly and smoothly add sort of like image summaries or LLM support, all of that to your lenses, within a few clicks. I think that's really powerful for getting people started with not just XR, but XR and AI, and combining them together.
Yeah, I had the impression, especially with the launch or announcement of the Snap Specs, that AI has been very important when they thought about, okay, how do developers develop for the Snap Specs in the future? So it seems almost like it was built for being developed with AI. And you have in the middle, right in the middle, when you open Lens Studio, you already have the chat window, being able to talk to an AI. So really focusing on that. And I guess that's not totally wrong, my assumption, right? I mean, I'm not a developer. I used Lens Studio the first time last weekend, actually, and developed my own very first lens. Also used AI. And that's my impression. Like, it was so easy to develop for it. And with the help of AI, it was like very easy. Like, okay, I'm a little bit of a technological guy, so I have done with code a little bit, but I'm not a developer, so I'm also hesitating to actually do too much code, because then, technical debt, and if something breaks, I have no idea how to fix it again. So yeah, but question is the focus on AI. There is one focus of AI, right?
I think so. And usually AI is helpful also for artists, I feel like, because they're more focused on the visual side, of course, and not so much on the coding part. So AI is really helpful for that. But inside of Lens Studio, even if you're a hardcore programmer and you're not super into the art side, like you don't know how to 3D model, even for this, they have AI features. Like you can just 3D generate some models, you can generate textures, materials, you can even generate animations for your characters. So I feel like it's very useful and helpful for both sides, for the coders and for the artists. Like for both, there is something in it. So definitely a focus on AI right now, yeah.
Cool. And when we think about the upcoming hackathon right now, so there will be people who have never developed for anything like XR. So they will be pretty new. But as these glasses are very AI focused, and maybe also the features in the future we will have, which will not be, there will be games, of course, but the fun part here to think about is what will the AI do with our glasses in the future? And when this specs gets more smaller, more lighter, even more lighter, then the AI thingies will be more and more important. So they have no experience with XR whatsoever. They bring their own, like say agents, open cloud, like all the things you do when you are a developer today with you. How can you, if this is possible to connect it easily to the Snap Spectacles, what do you suggest would be a great way to connect what you already have, what you already know and can and work with the ecosystem of Snap?
So I think at the moment, really interesting sort of intersection between the current developer hardware we have and then the new specs that will be coming out soon. So in the latest version of Lens Studio, you have access to something called CLAD, which stands for the Closed Loop Agentic Development. And it's like set skills and things that you plug into Cursor or, Claude Codes, Codex, all of that, which making lenses for the new specs in Lens Studio super easy. So you can do the full thing from like write the code, place things in your scene, generate 3D meshes, sound effects, all of that. Even to testing it, which was one of the things I didn't expect it to be able to do. It's got something called Leaf. I can't remember what Leaf stands for at the top of my head, but it's essentially like spatial unit tests, which is fantastic. So you can test things like hand gestures and all of that from within your sort of Lens Studio. So I think from people coming from maybe more of a vibe coding background, that's very useful, makes creating lenses super easy. The only downside to that is you can't deploy it to the older version right now without having to like work through a bunch of sort of older versions of software. But at the moment, it is still super possible to just, use anti-gravity or, Cloud Code or whatever to write your scripts for help with Lens Studio. Especially when you give it there's a bunch of cool GitHub repos with links to like samples and all of that, which you can give as context folders to it. And it makes the vibe coding super easy from there. So yeah, exciting time.
Nice. Okay, so that's very interesting. So you probably need to give us the links to those repos. Or
yep.
I'm also pretty sure you have for the hackathon participants, if you see that they need them, you will probably pull them out of your secret holster, the secret weapon, and say, oh, look what I found here. This might actually help you. So very interesting. So to close our round here, maybe both of you, Andrew is a developer, Ines more of the creator and designer, and make things beautiful and usable. And just say no. You talk bullshit, Thomas, if I say something wrong. Maybe every one of you have a good tip how to be prepared for the hackathon if you want to actually develop with the Snap Spectacles. I know a couple of guys already registered for the hackathon who will use the Snap Spectacles. I showed them on the Startplatz in Cologne where the hackathon will take place. I gave them a private demo. They're absolutely excited to work with them. So if you have a couple of tips for them, what should they do before the hackathon? That's the time to give them.
I think besides just installing all the software and stuff, maybe think about ways to integrate your environment, because the difference from the specs to other smart glasses or AI stuff is that they do have really good tracking of the real world. You can do surface tracking, hand tracking, you can track other people, you can track the walls, like you can create a whole mesh of your environment and just use that in a creative way to integrate your ideas into the real world. I think that's really the thing that stands out for XR projects, is that there's like these really nice combination of real world and like the artificial world, just for your ideation process. I think that's a good preparation.
I think my advice would be, if this is your first time sort of using anything XR or even just AR glasses, is just test on device frequently. Super easy from Lens Studio. It takes like 10 seconds to deploy to device. So just, test frequently. It's quite a new sort of medium for learning with, where to place things, like how far in front it should be fixed to the head, and then colors as well, as Ines mentioned earlier. Since they are holographic displays, you've got to avoid things like black. So try kind of work on different color palettes and other things too.
Yeah. Absolutely. And I can confirm, like, deploying it was the most surprising part at my work. I took 2 hours to code that thingy in the weekend. And I was like, okay, now I have to deploy it. And I was already frightened that it would take ages and it wouldn't work at the first 15 times. No, I hit the button. It worked immediately. I was like, what the hell? I can see something, what I did here. That was really empowering and really nice, to be honest, to see that you can actually achieve something, even if you're not that skilled or not used to the device. Really nice. Really enjoyed that one. And towards testing the colors, there's also testing the typography, which I found very interesting. I guess the developers of Cookmate are some kind of masters with that, which design their app with a big focus on readability on the font. So if you want to try or find out what's best practices with fonts, open the Cookmate app. It's actually on the glasses. It's on all the glasses, pre-installed. Open Cookmate, check out how they made the typography, because it's one of the most beautifully made typography things. I will also link you an episode of Spatial Realities where we talk with the developer of Cookmate. So you can listen to how she actually developed with her team Cookmate. So very nice episode too. Cool. Awesome. So to finish up this episode, unfortunately, you might have recognized it, dear listeners, Thomas is not with us anymore. He's still alive, but he dropped out of the recording, is not capable of coming in. So greetings go out to Thomas. He's somewhere on the countryside in Germany trying to reconnect to the interwebs. And we say goodbye to Thomas at this point. If the people want to connect with you already before the hackathon, or because they are interested what you're doing with the mirror, how should they connect to you?
LinkedIn is good. Instagram, we can link all of that down, right?
Yes. Okay. Awesome. So I would say thank you very much for coming to episode 135. Ines Hilz, digital artist, creative technologist, and Andrew Douglas, XR developer, both co-founder of Sunflower VR, Sunflower, beautiful name. Thanks for joining. Can't wait to see you and on the hackathon. Thank you very much.
Yes. See you soon. Thanks for having us.
And this was episode 135 of Spatial Realities. And usually the other Thomas would read this one. If you enjoyed this podcast, we'd really appreciate you if you recommend it to others. Feel free to share the episode on social media and send them to colleagues and friends, and leave us a 5-star rating on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Also, a quick reminder about our Discord server. You can find the link in the show notes or at spatialrealities.de. And now, my name is Thomas Bedenk. I'm Thomas Riedel. Thank you for tuning in and see you next time. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.